This movie is so ridiculous and unrealistic that it's actually entertaining. It's Sharana from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, which is directed by David Leitch, who's responsible for films such as Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, John Wick, and this film stars Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, Vanessa Kirby, and a whole bunch of other people that I can't even think to name at this point. There's so many people in this film, I just can't even take the time to go through their names. So this film essentially deals with Deckard Shaw, Luke Hobbs. They hate each other, don't want to see each other, but they have to work together to save the world. There is a serum that has been put into the wrong hands that was taken by somebody else that it really doesn't matter at this point. But there is a villain by the name of Brixton who is portrayed by Idris Elba, and so he is trying to ruin the entire world. So Deckard and Luke, they have to band together. They have to work together, put their differences to the side to once again save the world. And that's the general plot of the whole movie. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. But for those of you who are new to my channel, I tell you what I liked about the film. What I didn't like about the film is should you pay or wait to see this film in theaters. So first and foremost, can I talk about my man Idris real quick? Let me just get a moment with him. I loved him as the villain in this film. Honestly, since Deckard Shaw, the villains have been lacking in the Fast and the Furious franchise. We're not even gonna get on Cypher, even though I love Charlize to death. We're not gonna get started on her, but I would have to say that Idris as Brixton, he plays a very compelling villain. He plays a villain that has a cause that he's fighting for. He feels as though he is on the right side of things, to the point where I was like, I know you're wrong, but you're so cool, you got so much swag that I don't even want to be right at this point. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and support you. I'm gonna support the cause for the moment. But I think that he has some really cool stunts. As he says in the trailer, he is Black Superman. He has kind of been genetically modified. He's kind of like a super soldier type from this like really creepy tech company. But he does some really cool stunts with the motorcycle, which is some of my favorite parts of the film, seeing him do some of these action sequences with the motorcycle. But I just thought he was so cool to watch. He always plays a great villain, even since I first started watching him in The Wire. I just thought he was fantastic, and I thought that he was very compelling to go up against both Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham in this film. Also, too, we have a new addition, Vanessa Kirby. Her character is actually Deckard Shaw's sister by the name of Hattie, and she's an MI6 agent, and I thought that she did a very great job of holding her own. I thought that she commanded attention even as she's sharing scenes with both Jason and Dwayne, and I thought that her fighting style was very realistic. She wasn't a damsel in distress type. I thought that she held her own with these two big action stars, and I've been a huge fan of hers since The Crown, and also to what we've seen from her in Mission Impossible Fallout. But who were we here to see? We are here to see Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson insult each other the entire film, and I promise you, it does not disappoint. I could seriously watch a whole film of them just insulting each other. I'm here for the shade, I'm here for the pettiness. I could watch a whole movie doing this, and I think that their chemistry works very well as this unlikely pair who they hate each other's guts, but they have to work together to save the world. And I think that that was one of the most interesting aspects when they were both kind of introduced together, even though Hobbs came before Deckard. But as we saw them in the previous Fast and the Furious film, when I was watching the fight sequence in the jail, I was like, I would definitely watch a movie with just these two. And so it made sense why we had to go into kind of this spin-off franchise. I had a lot of fun while watching Hobbs and Shaw, but I did have a couple of issues while watching the film. Outside of the ridiculous action sequences, because there are some moments in the film that characters were doing things like, you would not literally survive this. Like, you shouldn't have a hand right now. You shouldn't have an arm right now. You can't do that. You don't have super strength. You're not Captain America. And if you guys, you know what I'm talking about when I say that part. You know the exact scene that happened when he did it. I looked at my friend. We literally just burst out laughing in the middle of the entire movie. But what I would have to say out of that, because you know that going into these films, you have to suspend all logical and realistic belief. I had an issue with kind of the feel. To me, it didn't feel as though this was a Fast and the Furious film. I think that it definitely checked the boxes of family, cars, action, just ridiculousness. But I felt as though that they were kind of trying too hard to outdo the regular Fast and the Furious franchise and kind of force this whole family story upon us. I think that it worked, but it felt forced. And I think that since this is a spinoff into a different direction, they really could have took a different route with the film. Also too, the pacing of the film, literally sitting in the movie, I thought that this movie ended 3 separate occasions. I was like, oh, okay, it's about to end, let me pack my stuff up. And I was like, wait a minute, we're still going. I don't understand what just happened. There's a lot that could have been cut out. I don't know why the movie was as long as it was. I think it was over like 2 hours and 15 minutes. It felt 2 hours and 15 minutes. Some things worked, some things didn't work. But what I would have to say is there are also cameos in the film, and this is a pro and a con. There are some huge cameos. One cameo that happened, I literally screamed, and it was actually hilarious, but I think the cameos went on a little bit too long. There are end credit scenes that happen before and at the end. To me, the last post-credit scene didn't really need to happen. But even though I had kind of these issues with the film, overall, I did have a great time. I knew exactly what I was getting into, and I saw action. Did I think that action was as... You know, there's always this crazy action sequence that happens in the Fast and the Furious films. I didn't think that the action outdid some of the other sequences that we've seen in the previous films, but I still had a great time watching it. I'm interested in seeing more spinoffs. Can I just get a whole Shaw family spinoff? Because meet like Helen Mirren, can I just get more of her because I loved her? And there are also other characters that were introduced. And even with the whole sketchy company that was introduced that was backing Brixton, I would want to learn more about that company. There are a lot of aspects of Hobbs and Shaw that they can even spin off into other different movies, but I'm excited. I want to see more. I had a great time. So what I would tell you guys to do when you're in your coins, I would tell you to still pay to go see this film in theaters. I'm still going to watch the other Fast and the Furious films. I'm still going to watch the Hobbs and Shaw spinoffs. I had a great time. Those are basically my general thoughts. And if you want to see more discussion, head over to the Rotten Tomatoes YouTube channel, and I'll leave this link in the comment section below. I was actually on their after show doing a spoiler discussion about Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, so make sure you guys check that out. But those are my thoughts on the film. As always, my name is Sharana from Pair Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.